Hi Gavin, a few days ago we had the opportunity to fly with you together in team flight with two duo-discus to Mount Cook. It was an amazing flight, but you said to us it is your last glider flight.
Yeah, sadly it is my last glider flight, I think. My glider already has been sold. I have 3,000 hours in that glider and about 8,000 or 9,000 hours in duo-discuses by itself. And of course I've been flying from Marama for almost 50 years.
Wow.
I began flying in this area when I lived at Mount Cook, at the bottom of the mountain that we went to yesterday. And that was a big learning experience because all the flying I had to do was in the mountains, and I had to learn how to fly in the mountains, how the wind worked, etc., etc. It got to the stage that when I came out to the flatlands with my glider, I was very frightened because I didn't know how to fly in the flatlands. But this is an amazing place to fly from Marama because you have such a range of terrain and such dynamic and varied weather. And the terrain is also very beautiful, as you saw.
Yeah. And you had this company Glide Marama for several years?
I started Glider Marama in 1998 with one glider, and I closed it down in 2020, just before COVID, with 11 gliders and 3 tow planes.
Wow, 11 gliders.
And we had a staff of 21 people.
What is gliding for you when you have it as a business and fly a lot? How do you feel sitting in a glider?
Well, first of all, I learned to fly gliding for fun, and I have always had a bad habit of turning my recreation into a job.
That's what I also try to do.
Yeah, well, you know the problem.
Yes,
you know the problem. But I've done it already. I was a mountaineer, and I started a mountaineering business.
Wow.
And we had a mountaineering school, and that grew, so I had about 25 mountain guides.
Wow.
All the year round, we operated from Mount Cook. So now do I go climbing? No, I don't. And I did the same thing with skiing. I started a helicopter skiing business, first here in New Zealand, and then later in Colorado. So now do I go skiing? No.
But what do you prefer? Go to Mount Cook, climb up there, or fly with a glider there?
Well, that's a very good question. Both are really spectacular and exciting. My favorite climbs of Mount Cook, I would try to spend a night out on the mountain as high as possible. I have actually slept right on the summit, on the main peak. And also you saw the middle peak when we flew past it. There's a big crevasse just underneath the middle peak. I've slept in that on 2 different occasions. On purpose, not by accident. So that's really special. From the top of Mount Cook, you look out across the Tasman Sea, and at sunrise, you see this huge shadow across the ocean of the mountain, and it looks like a tent, this huge tent. So I've flown around it many, many times, and I love to. It's much easier to fly over
yes,
it.
Of course. It's not a sport to climb up there. Okay, and how many flying hours do you have in a glider?
I have about 10,000.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, mostly in the duo-discus.
Thank you so much. It was great.
It was a great
It was great to meet you. It was a great flight. Thanks that we were allowed to fly your glider today, even if it's already sold somehow.
Yeah. I know, it's very sad, but I mean, I'm 75 years old, and at some point we have to move on. So I'm not sure whether I'm moving on up here or down there, but we have to move on. So I'm honoured that you got to fly Quebec.
See you again in New Zealand.
Yes. Well, we're going to stay living here. As you see, we have a beautiful place to live, so we will stay here, and of course glider pilots will come and talk and have barbecues. And,
Great place, yeah.
So, yeah, it is. You need to stay here longer.